Alright, now we're done with the listening comprehension section, and I have already told you about the question types and also the strategies and also basically everything. I also told you about the checkpoints for listening comprehension section. Now let's move on to the most challenging part. Yeah, people say that. People say that this is the most challenging part of the PTESOL test. So what is it? Well, we are moving on to structure and written expression section, or what we call as grammar. But I will tell you the what and how to a structure and written expression for PTESOL. Now I will give you a brief introduction to structure and written expression. Basically, the goal of the structure and written expression is to test the knowledge of the structure of standard written English. Remember written English. Earlier in listening, you are expected to understand spoken English. However, in here, you are expected to understand written English. The language tested here in this section is mostly formal, not conversational. So basically, the setting of the writing of the written English is formal. The topics used in this section are of a general academic nature. So, structure and written expression section contains 40 questions, which include structure and also written expression. Structure consists of 15 questions out of 40. Here in the structure questions, you choose the correct sentence completions. However, in written expressions, you must complete 25 questions out of 40, which means in here, you, the test taker, must choose the incorrect sentence segments. So, what are the general strategies for structure and written expression session? First, be familiar with the instructions. Move immediately to the first question and begin working. Remember, you should be familiar with the instruction. Here, the instruction for structure and written expression are very, very different, right? Here, you must choose the correct sentence. However, for written expression, you must choose the incorrect sentence. So you must be familiar already. The second one, you must use your time wisely. You only have 35 seconds to complete each question in this section. So make sure that after you are familiar with the instruction, make sure you also understand how to answer the question. And the third one, identify the grammar point being tested in each question. And here will be the thing that I will explain to you and how to understand structure and written expressions. And now, let's move on to the question types. For structure questions here, the structure questions measure the understanding of basic grammar. So basically here, there are 15 incomplete sentences in this part. 4 possible completions or 4 choices for answer choices are provided in the answer choices. Choose only one correct answer to complete the sentence. I will give you the examples. Blah, blah, blah. Americans like movies is a well-known fact. Blah, blah, blah. American likes movie is a well-known fact. A, most. B, that most. C, some. D, because. So here, in the structure section, you must identify what is needed in the sentence. Here, blah, 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 Americans like movies is a well-known fact. Here, the sentence lacked of subject. The verb is incomplete, right? However, the subject of the sentence, which is a noun clause, is incomplete. American likes movie. Yeah, that's the subject, but it is incomplete. And then, here, you must look for the word to complete the subject. Hence, answer B is the correct answer to the question because it completes the subject. Noun clause, right? Noun clause can be identified by that in front of the sentence. So the complete sentence sounds like that Americans like movies is a well-known fact. That's for structured question. The second one is written expression. Well, Written expression questions measure the understanding of the grammar of written English. There are 25 sentences out of 40, so there are more written expression questions than structured questions. There are 25 sentences, and each sentence has 4 underlined segments. Choose the one in correct segment. So instead of identifying which one is the correct answer, here you must identify the error in the sentence. For example, my name is, underline with A, the most importantest, underscore B, industry in this state. In, underscore C, this, underscore D. So, you must find out what is wrong with this sentence. So, if you found out, I will explain what is the game. I will restate the sentence. My name is, underscore A, the most importantest B, in, industry, in, underscore C, this, underscore D, and state. In this state. So, what is wrong with this sentence? You may have probably heard I said importantest. Now, let's take a look. Well, in this question, the correct formation of superlative adjectives is being tested. Importantest is not a word in English. Therefore, the answer B is the correct answer to the question because importantest is incorrect. The correct one is the most important because here, when you use a superlative adjective, it means that if you have already stated with most, if you have already used most, do not use est again in the word. So choose only one. So my name is the most important industry in this state. So that's for the question. Okay, after you understood what consists in structure and written expression section, I will tell you the checkpoint, what you need to learn here. The first checkpoint, check subjects, objects, and noun complements. All of the English sentences contain subjects, objects, whether it is a direct or an indirect or objects of prepositions, and noun complements. Well, so here I will explain to you what is subject, what is objects, and what is noun complements, and why you need to understand this. Alright, the first one, subject. Subject is the doer of the action in a sentence. I will recite the sentence for you. Aryo eats at 5 a.m. Aryo eats at 5 a.m. So, who is the doer of the action in the sentence? Yes, correct. The doer of the action is Aryo because Aryo is the one who performs the action, which is eats. Right? That's for subject. And now let's talk about objects. Objects, there are a lot of types of object. There are 3. First, direct object, which means that the direct receiver of the action of a sentence. The second one is the indirect object, indirect receiver of the action of a sentence, right? And then the third one is object of preposition or of prep. So this is the example of the sentence. I gave Rina a book for her birthday. I gave Rina a book for her birthday. I is the subject, gave is the verb, Rina is the indirect object because Rina is the indirect receiver of the action of a sentence. So who is the direct receiver? The direct receiver is a book. I gave Rina a book. Yeah, the direct object of gave, that what you gave is the book for her birthday. For her birthday is the object of preposition because it is followed by for. For is a preposition. So for her birthday is the object of preposition. So that's what we can identify. from objects. Now let's move on to noun complement. This may sound new to you, but I will explain it slowly, all right? So in noun complement, here, noun complement, there are two kinds of functions in noun complement. First, subject identifier. Yeah, subject identifier means that it comes after the verb be. You know be? Are, am, is. Yeah, that's the verb be. That's what we call as subject complement. All right? And then the second one is object identifier. It means that the noun complement comes after the direct object of a sentence. I will give you the example and I want you to guess which one is the subject complement and which one is the object complement. The first one is Alina is a teacher. Alina is a teacher. Remember the definition of subject complement? Subject complement means that the noun complement that comes after the verb be. So, Alina is a teacher. The teacher is the noun, right? Teacher is a noun and it comes after to be, is. So, that's why the subject complement is teacher. Alina is a teacher. And let's talk about the second one. They elected him president. They elected him president. Here, you can look back to the definition. Object identifier. After the direct object of a sentence. Let's identify it one by one. They is a subject. Elected is a verb. Him is the object, the direct object. And president is the direct object of the sentence. So that's how you differentiate, yeah? So when you find a subject complement, it means that it comes after the verb be, are, am, is. And then for object complement, it comes after the direct object. So after you find an object, and if there is a noun, yeah, here the noun are teacher and president, yeah? They elected him president. It comes after the direct object. So they elected him president is the object complement. All right? So after understanding subjects, objects, and noun complements, here you need to know what PTESOL tasks you. First, PTESOL usually use incorrect words, word order in these noun structures. And they usually repeat subjects, objects, and complements unnecessarily. And then they usually leave out necessary part of subject, object, and complement noun structure. They kind of like mess up the whole sentences. And then they usually use other structures where noun structures, objects, or complements are needed. For example, using a prepositional phrase instead of a noun clause. All right, so now I will give you the example. The example is this. They didn't know blah, blah, blah. A, what to do. B, do. C, to do what. And D, they should do. So what is needed in this sentence? They didn't know blah, blah, blah. So let's imagine that after know, we should insert an object. So that's why we should find the correct direct object. In this question, answer B is a verb. It cannot be a direct object. And remember, if you want to find for a direct object, the form must be noun. So so B is do. Do is a verb, so it cannot complete the sentence. So C, to do what? In answer C, the word order of the direct object is incorrect. Yeah, to do what? It feels like a question, right? In answer D, the direct object is incomplete. They didn't know they should do. Well, if you want to find a noun, basically they use noun clause which is started by that or what. Okay, so answer A, is the correct answer. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do because it contains all the parts of a direct object in the correct order. Noun clause as the direct order, as the direct object started by what. And then let's talk about the second checkpoint. The second checkpoint talks about the subject and verb agreement. I bet all of you have known the rules about the subject and verb agreement. So in English, a sentence and subordinate clause must have a subject and a finite verb. What is a finite verb? So basically, a verb that shows past and present tense to which the third person singular s can be attached. So what does that mean? For examples, Peter, subject, once, finite. Yeah, once. Why do we use s? Because the singular s, the subject Peter is singular, only one person. That's why the finite verb use s. Peter wants to go with us tomorrow. And then the second example, Peter's a subject and has finite verb because again, Pete is a singular subject. Peter has been wanting to go with us for a long time. Alright, so that's how you use a finite verb. You must relate to the subject. Is the subject singular or plural? Let me give you the example if the subject is plural. The people want to go with us tomorrow. Different, right? With the singular subject. When the subject is singular, for example, only Peter wants. However, when I say the people, because people refer to plural or many people, so that the finite verb change to want. Many people want to go with us tomorrow. So that's how you check subject and verb agreement. Remember to check the subject, whether the subject is plural or singular. Okay, so now the example is, because he didn't feel well, blah, 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 to stay home from school. I repeat, because he didn't feel well, blah, 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 to stay home from school. Okay, so now the answer choices are A, the boy he wanted, B, the boy, C, the boy wanted, D, what the boy wanted. So let's question this. What is needed in this sentence? Okay, because he didn't feel well, blah, 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 to stay home from school. Here, I think we cannot find any subject or verb. They are lacking from this sentence. So this is why we should find the correct subject and the verb of the main clause. Okay? In the answer choices, all of them contain the subject, boy, right? The boy he wanted, the boy wanted, what the boy wanted. However, answer A contains the subjects, the boy and he, the boy he wanted. Well, we only need a subject and a verb. We don't need the boy he wanted. Yeah, this is incorrect. And then answer B, the boy, contains a subject only. Yeah, if we choose answer B, because he didn't feel well, the boy to stay home from school. Well, what is the verb? No, it doesn't exist, right? However, let's talk about answer D. What the boy wanted to stay home from school. Remember the function of noun complements here. The noun complements must be followed by a verb. And here, what the boy wanted, it is not followed by a verb. Yeah, what the boy wanted. Yeah, they should be followed by a be. What the boy wanted is. That's how we use a noun complements. But here, let's talk about it. What the boy wanted to stay home from school. Well, the sentence doesn't make sense anymore. Hence, the answer, let's leave out answer D. So, let's talk about number C. Answer C is the correct answer. The boy wanted. Answer C is the correct answer because it contains the missing subject. The boy, right? The boy and the verb wanted. Alright, so that's how you solve this kind of question. First, you must identify the subjects, objects, and noun complements, and you should know the form and the function. And the second one, you must check subject and the verb agreement. Remember to identify whether the subject is plural or singular.